Hello Santa Fe, I'm Carlene and welcome to Living Santa Fe. Today's guest is a very unusual woman. If you've been reading the Santa Fe, New Mexico lately, you've been reading about the problems at La Familia. And this lady here today is somebody that's going to solve the problem, I hope.
Thank you, Carl.
Her name's Jasmine Mills. Jasmine, what is your title, official title?
I'm the Chief Development Officer at La Familia.
Okay. I'd like to say a little something about our background in dealing with charitable organizations. For the past, well, since I've been on this show, it seems like for 100 years, we've done shows with Kitchen Angels, the American Cancer Society, and by the way, Gloria Martinez, who is on your board, was somebody I worked with very closely on the American Cancer Society. She ran that for years, and we got a lot of money on it. Worked with animal sanctuaries, Alzheimer's, and just many more. We've also brought on many doctors and dental people to talk about new advancements in medical practice over the past few years. So we have kind of a background in this. And these actions and the work that people do for these organizations can show you what America really is all about. Helping people in need. And this is why you're on this show today, Jasmine.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about your background.
Well, I mean, as we were discussing earlier, I came to Santa Fe from Dallas, but I have a long background working with media, and actually, in my college years, worked with the press on the Iran-Contra scandal, and am fluent, and actually also worked at Greenpeace. But the job that I love now is the one that I have, which is raising money and helping people have access to high quality health care at La Familia.
Now, what did you do in Nicaragua? I want to know what you did down there.
I actually was the investigator and researcher for journalists. So I would work with them. I actually was their translator. So if they didn't speak Spanish, I have flown over airfields in national parks, hidden in basically in the fields at night, trying to meeting people, drug dealers, telling us about the Iran-Contra scandal and the Oliver North Secord network.
Interesting.
It was.
You're lucky you speak Spanish. Santa Fe is a town where you almost need to know a little bit of Spanish.
Yes. Yes.
And so you're fluent in Spanish.
Yes, I went to high school in Ecuador and then spent 6 years in Central America.
Mm-hmm. And you've been with La Familia for how long?
I've been with La Familia for 3.5 years. I came during the middle of the pandemic, and I specifically came for this job and because of the mission.
Okay. Now, it has been in the newspapers a lot about some financial problems they're having and that they might have to cease operations. I hope that's not the case.
We're doing everything we can to prevent that. We are not, La Familia will be here, La Familia has been here for 52 years. Our goal is to stay here for another 52 years, as long as the community needs us. We started as a volunteer clinic, in 1972, and we have now grown to basically one of the largest primary care facilities or centers in Santa Fe. Last year we saw 16,000 patients, so an estimated 1 out of 10 individuals, and Santa Fe is a patient of ours.
Now, COVID struck a few years ago, and it kind of knocked everything, not only in our country, but around the world.
Yes.
And it's coming out of it. I have firm beliefs that this country will bounce back, and it is bouncing back. I don't know, it might take longer to do it, but it is happening. And things take longer
Yes.
to do now. But I feel it's our collective responsibility to ensure that the community of Santa Fe expands its reach to protect and preserve our helpful organization, one of which is La Familia. It's extremely important to Santa Fe.
Oh, thank you. It is. It is. I mean, we've been around, and we have, we've served generations of families. We have, we have doctors and providers who have been there for 33 years. Dr. Sue Katz is celebrating her 33rd year. Dr. Gary Giblin, our Chief Medical Officer, has been there 28 years. He's now on, I think, his 3rd generation of delivering babies in Santa Fe.
Do you have some stories to tell about that?
Oh, I do. Dr. Giblin has, he actually just delivered, or last year he delivered the baby of one of the babies that he delivered 25 years ago. And, it's just full circle how, people go to La Familia and stay at La Familia.
So many of them do not have insurance. Some of them are on Medicaid. And
Yes.
then some just regular people that are working go in for
Right.
shots and this sort of thing.
We have a broad mix of individuals that come to La Familia that are patients. About 40% are uninsured. Another 35% have Medicaid. So we have a very high portion of our population, or our patient demographic, that is low income. We then have Medicare patients, about 10%, and then the rest happen to be private insurance. So we have a good mix, but 40% of our patients are uninsured.
Now here in Santa Fe, we have $1 million homes, $2 million homes. So there's a great deal of wealth in Santa Fe, but there's also a great deal of people in need.
Yes, yes.
And you work directly with these people.
Yes, I mean, they're the individuals that work in the hotels, in the restaurants, in construction, people who work in grocery, grocery stores, and who just don't either, their insurance, they can't afford insurance, or their company doesn't offer it because they're so small. So we have down in the South Side many multi-generational households.
That's right.
And multi-family households, because the cost of living here in Santa Fe is very, very high.
It is.
So
Well, you seem to know Santa Fe.
I've learned it over the last couple of years.
I bet you have.
And it's been it's an amazing community. And we launched an emergency funding campaign, as you know, about 6 weeks ago. And everyone's like, well, it's $1 million. How are you going to raise $1 million? It's like the community is coming together. In 6 weeks, we've raised over $200,000, which is wonderful. And it's all individuals. It's about 400, 500 donations from individuals and family foundations. And we've met with the state, we've met with the governor's office, we're asking for help. I mean, the problem is that funding for community health centers like ours has remained flat, while all of the costs have increased significantly, including payroll and, medicine and all of our medical supplies. And given the fact that La Familia sees so many uninsured patients, we have also a very high no-show rate. So almost 30% of our patients who have appointments don't show up.
Yeah.
And so, that has impacted our bottom line. And, we're trying to increase revenues, patient revenues, but also, we have a recovery plan in place that we're working on. But the community, we launched the emergency funding campaign so that we would be able to get us to the point where the recovery plan actually is in place and moving forward.
How many people have jumped in to help you? Approximately supporters, big supporters that might want to donate time, donate money. I understand you've had quite a few people join in.
Mm-hmm. We've had about 450 people. As I mentioned, we've had a number of family foundations. We're meeting with, we've met with a number of the local foundations that are helping us either financially or with, assistance, technical assistance and everything. We're working with Ancorum Foundation right now we have a pharmacy at our Alto clinic, and it is a 340B clinic pharmacy, which means it is primarily for our patients who are uninsured, and so we get deep discounted medicines. But we are looking at opening up to a retail pharmacy, which would give us money.
Tell me about a retail pharmacy. How does that work?
Well, a retail pharmacy would allow us to bill insurance, allow people in the community to come to La Familia and get medications, and it would be a revenue generator for us, which we've never taken insurance. We're just beginning. It has been mostly an in-house pharmacy.
Now, you set up a GoFundMe program. How do you set up a GoFundMe? What did it take to get that started? How do you do that?
Well, it was fairly simple online for me to set it up. GoFundMe is probably the most well-recognized or most recognized way to raise funds from the broader community. We have multiple ways that people are giving to us. People can go on to the GoFundMe, but we also have individuals who are giving through our website, people who are mailing checks. I launched it on the GoFundMe so that we could actually send it out and have people who aren't necessarily in Santa Fe donate.
Now, you sent out numerous brochures to people that have contributed to you. I got one myself. That's what got me interested in this. And how many of those do you send out? All over the city?
Yes, we sent out. I sent out a letter to our current and past donors, and as well as supporters. People who've donated in kind and who come to our events. And so I think it was about 3,000 letters.
Okay. Now, you didn't mince words when you were asking for funds. You came right out and said, we need this because we're in trouble.
I had to be upfront with our donors. And, I'm a certified fundraising executive. So with my certification, ethics is extremely important. And being it's always been important for me, but it's also something in which I want donors to understand what is going on with the organization and the community to understand, because La Familia is really the gem of the community. When you think about the number of people that have come through our doors in 52 years, the numbers just sort of astound me, and so You have to be upfront and be honest.
You have been, and I admire that. And that's what we're going to get into a little bit. What really happened? I mean, I know that there were layoffs, administrators left, certain people were asked to leave. That's hard to do.
Well, La Familia has a unique model in that while we get federal funds for our uninsured patients, we need to generate revenue through patients. And we have, for those that are uninsured, we have what we call the slide, so that low income individuals only have to pay a very small amount or no amount. I mean, you know, our mission is to provide health care to people regardless of their ability to pay. But what has happened is that over the years, we have not really seen enough patients to cover the costs of the organization. And so there was also the ARPA cliff, which happened. Everybody got funds during ARPA, and we wisely used those and put them aside. But each month, our expenses, I mean, outstripped our revenue and what I could fundraise. And so that has happened since 2013, every single year, with the exception of the year that we had ARPA funds. And, you know, we can't continue doing that. And last year, the board agreed and brought in a new CEO, but unfortunately, she alienated our physicians and our providers.
Can't do that in Santa Fe.
No. Given the fact that we don't have many, you know, it's very hard to get providers here. And the fact, you know, and so we basically had a lot of our providers resign or walk, or you know, attempt to walk. And they voted in a union. They decided that they wanted to become a union, which we, as an organization, you know, we respect their right to unionize, and they voted it in, and now we're in negotiations with them. But what happened was that we had to cut $2 million of our budget to become sustainable this year.
Okay.
And part of that happens to be that we're not seeing enough patients. Part of that happens to be, you know, I mean, there's just a variety of different things. And so yes, staff had to take a 10% cut. We had to lay people off. We have cut contracts. We have done a lot of different things so that we could close the, you know, the red line every single month and get closer to actually being sustainable. And as part of that, that's why we launched the GoFundMe campaign and the emergency funding campaign, because we recognize that we have a recovery plan. We cannot implement the recovery plan currently until we have a contract with our providers. And we just started negotiations with them, because when you bring in a union, you can't make any changes, which then makes it difficult. And some of the things that we have in the recovery plan are designed to, you know, increase the revenues, would impact the providers. So that's where we stand right now.
Okay, this ARPA, American Rescue Plan Act, right? Did that just start with COVID, or had that been in prior?
No, that came in just for COVID.
Just for COVID.
And lots of, I mean, you know, La Familia is not the only federally qualified health center or community health center in the state of New Mexico that is having problems. I mean, First Choice in Albuquerque is having problems. You know, I mean, there's another one in Española. I mean, ARPA was meant to save and help, but in some ways, ARPA really hurt people.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's really, it's been difficult. Everyone is, you know, again, the reason that we're having issues is because not only have all the costs increased, but funding has been very flat.
Okay. So you're going to reduce the fiscal year 2024 budget.
Yes, we did.
Okay. How many positions did you have to cut?
We cut 17 positions, and we actually,
Can you tell me what they are, or give me an idea of what?
they were across the entire organization. What we did was we sat down with all of the leadership team and all of the directors and evaluated which positions, they're not redundancies, but which positions could someone else assume or those responsibilities. So, we've also frozen positions. And so, I mean, it's from marketing to payroll to front desk to some clinic staff, medical assistants, and basically we looked at every single position that we had to.
How do you get a job there?
At La Familia, we hire folks. We recruit. We recruit physicians all the time. We actually have an HR department. And so they advertise positions that we have open.
Mm-hmm. Do you work with the state?
Yes, we do. We work very closely with the
The
state.
health department, or?
Yes, we work with New Mexico Department of Health. We have funding from New Mexico Department of Health, including the Rural Primary Health Care Act, which gives us about $600,000 a year for our uninsured indigent patients and helps recover, helps us with costs. We also have a grant with DOH, with the Department of Health, in regards to harm reduction and Hep C. We have a program with Healthcare for the Homeless, which is one of our key programs, in which we do needle exchange, we do syphilis testing, we do hepatitis C testing, and we also do medication-assisted treatment.
Okay, like most cities here in the United States now, we do have a homeless problem.
Yes, we do.
How do you contact these people?
Well, we've been in business, our Healthcare for the Homeless program has been in business for 20 years.
Okay, see, I didn't know that.
And we have a clinic, and we do a number of different things. So we have we see patients who are unhoused, we see patients who are in shelters, we see patients who are in transitional housing, we have patients who started out homeless and still come to us. Mm-hmm. And we also do street outreach. So we actually go to the encampments. We have several case managers that go out to the encampments and check on folks, see what's going on, get them into care if they need it. And they're amazing staff. We never shut down during the pandemic. We work closely with Santa Fe Police and the EMS and their emergency response team, their for mental health issues. So, but people really, they know about us, they know who we are, and they know where where our Healthcare for the Homeless clinic is.
Mm-hmm. Now, where is your main office located? On Alto Street?
Yes, we're at 1035 Alto Street, and that we have 4 clinics. We've got the main clinic, Alto Street, and then we have one down on Caja de Oro in just outside of Agua Fria Village, and then we have the one here at the community college. We are embedded in the college, and it's our dental clinic, and so we partner with the college on training their dental assistants. And then we have Healthcare for the Homeless up on Cerrillos Road.
Okay. Now, I know you're looking at money.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What about people, there are a lot of retired people in Santa Fe don't have enough to do with their lives. A lot of medical people mm-hmm. that might want to volunteer to work. Can they go through Alto Street and get an application, say I'm willing to work there 2 or 3 days a week, or 1 day a week?
Well, prior to the pandemic, we had a volunteer program. After the pandemic, during the pandemic, we
Yes.
stopped it.
Okay.
Now, the issue with us having volunteer physicians is that they have to go through a credentialing program and a credentialing process.
Okay.
And so, it would be something in which we would have to have them speak with Dr. Giblin, our chief medical officer, and figure out how best we could make that happen. Sometimes when we have people like physicians volunteer for a couple of days, they need to have a regular schedule, and we need to get them on the schedule, because while we are doing same-day visits now, after the pandemic, we reopened our same-day appointments and our walk-in clinics, so that so our patients don't have to go to urgent care or to the emergency room.
Okay.
But going back to the volunteers, they can always reach out to me, and we can figure out best where. There are certain things in regards to they will have to sign a non-disclosure because of confidentiality and HIPAA and all that. But we always can use volunteers, and we can use volunteers. For example, we have a Reach Out and Read program. We actually need to collect books because every single child under the age of 5 gets a book when they come and visit us. We are always looking for volunteers to help us with events. But we'd love to figure out a way to start a maybe I don't want to say a candy cane program, but a volunteer program.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I remember several years ago they had a dentist here. I don't remember who he was, but he used to put on a clinic for dental work. Mm-hmm. Dental work is outrageous.
Right. Yes.
I owe my life to my dentist, and he owes me. But it's extremely expensive, and this doctor did it, and it was kind of a big success here, and people at least got in to get their teeth checked.
Right.
And
they are actually, they're going to be doing that clinic again in April.
Good.
And it will be at the convention center. I don't know exactly which days, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I do know that they will be doing that. And, one of the unique things at La Familia, at our dental clinic, is that we have an emergency clinic in the morning, so that we have a number of emergency slots, so that when people are uninsured and need care, they can get in early, but they have to sign up early because we only have a certain number of slots. But we also do, we have some very high power equipment at our clinic that allows people to do in-house dentures and things like that, so we don't have to send them out anymore.
Yeah.
Our clinic is high tech. Our dental clinic is high tech. And we have, there's always more need than we can provide, than we can care for. But, we're here for people.
Oh, I think that's... See, I'm learning a lot I didn't know about La Familia just by talking to you.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
And that's helpful. I don't think the public out there knows the extent that this program goes to help people.
One of the things, people are unaware that La Familia physicians deliver 1/3 of all the babies in Santa Fe.
I know that I do know.
So we all a number of our doctors have take call at the hospital at Christus, and we have a large obstetrics and or prenatal and infant program where we educate and help parents, not only first time but second time, third time, with their needs in their prenatal care, because our goal is making sure that every baby in Santa Fe is born full term and full weight. Because unfortunately, during the pandemic, Santa Fe County, low birth weight baby numbers increased and preterm numbers increased. So, and I think that was because of fear and yeah, economic situation.
Economic situations. Do you have any programs that to help prevent birth control?
Yes, we are part of the Title X. We are part of the national program and the state program. So we provide contraceptives and other birth control contraceptive needs that there are.
That's good.
We also,
I know we have so many young women, too young really to be having children, but they have them, and then the parents end up raising them, and it's a real sad situation when that happens.
yes.
The world is getting more and more difficult. That's all there is to it. Let's go a little bit more into this union.
Okay. Yes.
Can they help a lot? Can they help a little bit? Is it going to cause problems?
You know, I can't really say because we have just started with the provider union.
Yeah.
You know, and it will cost money. You know, because we've had to hire attorneys to negotiate and everything like that. I mean, I think people don't realize. And you know, I have a partner who's a union member. My partner is a member of the electrician union. So, you know, it depends on, you know, there are good unions, there are bad unions. We will see how it goes. You know, it's a difficult thing to say because it's so new for us. But unions seem to be coming up in healthcare across the nation.
Yeah.
I understand that First Choice, there was a union vote recently. UNM Health has a union. Christus St. Vincent's Nursing has a nursing union.
That's right, they do.
And so it's, you know, it's more commonplace than people realize.
Are there any particular senators or representatives at the legislature that have joined you in some way, and to you know, we have our legislative session coming up.
We actually, I've been in regular communication with Senator Wirth.
I was just going to say, Senator Wirth
As
is great.
well, and I've also been in communication with Senator Nancy Rodriguez.
Good, she's another one.
And you know, we actually are working on a meeting with Representative Skipansky. Skipansky, sorry, I always pronounce that wrong. And we've met with the governor's office to make them aware of what's going on, not only for us, but for all of the community health centers. You know, we're specifically talking with our legislators to help us see what sort of funding there might be if there's emergency funding, because we need it. You know, and I've also reached out to Senator Lujan's office.
There you go.
He has been very instrumental for us in the past. We benefited from a congressional designated grant to upgrade the Alto Clinic and also purchase a generator for our Southside Clinic. And I've also been in conversation with Representative Leisure Fernandez's office.
Good. You've hit the biggies.
I've been trying. I mean, we've been trying, you know, I mean, they recognize that, you know, so many people in this country and so many people, especially here in New Mexico,
Yes.
need quality health care, and regardless of their ability to pay. And that's what La Familia does. And, you know, it's a unique, wonderful place. You know, last week I met a woman who, 20 years old, she, you know, first came to La Familia when her mother came over from Mexico as a single mother, and, you know, brought her and her siblings in. Now a citizen. Now she is in a high-risk pregnancy. But she's like, you know, where else would I go?
That's right.
I trust La Familia because of the care I've gotten. And in addition, she had applied for Medicare, Medicaid in the past, and never got it. But we were able to help her access it. So now that she doesn't have to worry about long-term care for her and the baby.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we do. I mean, La Familia provides a multidisciplinary team model. So we have not only our providers, we have caseworkers, we have a nutritionist, we have diabetes educators to deal with chronic.
That's a big one here.
Yes,
diabetes.
it is.
Yes.
And we have a very large diabetes program. We got a grant from the city to help us, to help our patients, get their diabetes under control. And we've had a lot of success with them because we do one-on-one work with them. We have a nutritionist who helps them with their meals so that they understand. We do cooking classes. For a long time prior to the pandemic, we had a center program or a living well program in which we taught children that were at risk of that were identified as obese. We helped them and their families learn to live an active lifestyle.
So your future plans are pretty big. I mean, I have to say you're contacting the right people. Senator Worth has been on our show. Mm-hmm. So has Nancy Rodriguez. Mm-hmm. And they're both excellent. I mean, they'll work for you.
And they've been very supportive.
Yes.
The reality of it is that unfortunately, I think people hear that the state has a lot of money. We've gotten a lot of money through the cannabis mm-hmm. and the oil and gas and everything. But there's the requests outstrip what the actual expected bonus or, expected overage will be by billions. So we're trying to figure out, but, healthcare happens to be a priority, and it has been a priority. So we're working with them to figure out how we can become more sustainable.
You've got a big job.
I have a wonderful job.
I know you like it.
I love it.
And you love the country.
I love Santa Fe. Santa Fe is an amazing community. So many people have come out to support us. We have a long way to go on our funding campaign, but we know that it'll take us 6 months to reach that $1 million. And in the meantime, we'll implement the recovery plan once we have the, contract signed with the union, which may take a little bit. We don't know. But I love what I do because every single day we get to see patients who need quality care and they can't access it other places because they don't have the resources.
That's the truth. It's the truth. I know people like that. And I've sent people to La Familia that have no other way, no means, and it's expensive. Healthcare is expensive. Insurance is expensive. Mm-hmm. I'm one of the fortunate people.
Yeah.
I have insurance. I don't know what I'd do without it, and I'm by myself now. And it would be difficult to take care of, and I try to take care of myself, but there's always that little burp that's going to go one of these days. Something's going to happen. Right. You can't live forever.
Yes, and and healthcare is, my father-in-law had a stroke a number of years ago.
Absolutely.
And he was blessed because he is a veteran. Mm-hmm. And also worked for BNSF, so he has wonderful health care. But imagine if you're 60 years old or 65 and have a stroke and don't have health insurance. And that's what really is so difficult. I mean, you know, we have diabetic patients. There's a story of an older woman who has been in the country for 25 years. Her husband continues to work in landscaping. She lost her job during the pandemic as a housekeeper. No insurance. She's diabetic. He's diabetic. And then he had a heart attack. And so he lost his benefits and his job. And, you know, who do they turn to? Luckily, they had been patients at La Familia.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, he needed to go into the hospital, and, you know, and so we have case managers who help us help our patients secure what they need. You know, we can't always get them exactly, you know, I mean, I'd like to say we were able to help them with the hospital bills, but, you know, we work with Christus on that.
Yes, yes.
And Christus, you know, is a great partner of ours.
Right, and the CEO over there, we did a show with her.
Lillian's wonderful.
Lillian Montoya.
Yes, yes.
What a gracious, wonderful person she is.
She really is. Her entire team, her entire leadership team are wonderful.
That's what I've heard.
We work very closely with them. You know, Dr. Gonzalez, Dr. Kathy Etree, you know, we work very closely with them. So, and we're blessed to have, I mean, Christus is a great partner of ours. It's a great hospital. Mm-hmm. We actually partner with them on the New Mexico primary care residency program. So we actually have 9 doctors, 9 residents in our clinics that are working and training to be primary care docs.
Wonderful.
Yes, yes.
That's great. Well, I'll tell you, today we've presented an oversight of some of the problems being encountered and the team you have established and the ideas you have put into process already. And now we need citizen assistance, and that's why we're doing our show today.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on.
I appreciate it. You're right, Santa Fe is a special place. I'm the eternal optimist. I truly believe that all problems can be solved. And we have many people here in Santa Fe that are generous, and they will be willing to contribute. La Familia is a very important organization to Santa Fe. We need people to come together with contributions, time, resources, and talents to address the local challenges. Let's see what we can do here in Santa Fe to achieve the goals of $1 million to keep La Familia operating. It is my hope that Santa Fe will pitch in generously to help you.
Thank you. I know that they are, and they will.
Together we can make a great impact.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And Jasmine, I want to thank you. It's so good meeting you.
It's wonderful meeting you.
And it's good to meet someone from out of state that understands Santa Fe.
I've been blessed by, you know, I mean, I've been here 3 years, so I've been, I'm a member of the Downtown Rotary Club.
Yeah.
And they have sort of helped me understand Santa Fe better, but, you know, they're wonderful. And I've just always loved people here. I've always loved people of Santa Fe.
It's a great community. I grew up here. I love it. And you get to know this town. Mm-hmm. There's so many possibilities in it, and
yes.
And it's educational, and it's a great art community.
Yes.
But it's got to be a better health community.
That would be good for, you know, for everyone around.
So together we'll make a great impact.
Thank you.
And once again, thank you for showing up today.